Okay, now that we've finished our drawings, we can now do some what we call rendering. And that's creating a more realistic picture-like view of the house that you've drawn up. And in fact, you can get them so that it's very hard to tell whether it is actually a photograph or a drawing. And we're going to do that by, first of all, creating a perspective view of our house. If we go up into our 3D view, we click on that one there, you can remember we had this, and this is actually in what we call isometric. And if I just rotate that around a little bit, it's 3D, but it looks a bit weird because what's actually happening is this measurement here is exactly the same as this measurement here. And we know in a true perspective image that the further a point gets away from us, it heads towards a vanishing point. So if we look down the side of a wall of a long, tall building, where we're standing right next to the wall, it appears very tall, but if you measure it with your fingers down the other end, it only looks quite small. So we want that sort of view, which is a much more realistic view. So if we come back to our site plan, and you can do this, if we click on the down arrow next to the little house, we have what's called a camera. And we bring that on, you get this little camera thing icon around, and we click where you want to stand. So I'm going to do the back view of the house in this one. And I'm just going to click there and drag, and you get these prongs coming out. You need to come all the way through. If you sort of stop halfway, and that's where it will stop seeing to. So you need to come right the way through, and at this moment, just get it down the middle. It's not that critical. As you see, we can adjust this later. So just click again, and it brings up a 3D view. Now I've got a lot of space out this side, but you'll notice there's some handles on the crop box. I can just drag those in, and I'm going to drag this one out a bit. Maybe drag this one down a little bit at the top. I like the bottom. Just going to zoom out and move it over, and just drag that out a little bit more. So you can just play around with this as you do it. I often find that you don't come all the way out, just leave it sort of running off the page, so it looks like a bit like a photograph. When you take a good photograph, and you don't necessarily have to have everything in the picture. I'll just zoom that back up to our rough size, and we have a 3D view. Of course, we can go through and use some of the styles to give it a more realistic look, and that's looking pretty good there. But what we want to do is actually render the image. We want to make it as like a photorealistic picture. And we'll go on to the next video to have a look at the ways that we can do that.